You are now listening to a member of the Disney Podcast family. Head over to Disney Podcast Family on Instagram to see all the latest posts for this show and links to other great Disney podcasts.
Welcome, dreamers and believers. You're listening to Imagine That, a Light in the Window production.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Imagine That as we continue our journey amongst this Imagineer pyramid. We are glad you guys are here to join us as we have a fun episode of some armchair Imagineering where we are talking the next level of the pyramid and we are sharing our activities, our ideas on pre and post shows for attractions, while also sharing some love for Tony Baxter. But obviously, I'm not here by myself. I am here with this amazing team of armchair Imagineers. So why don't we give everyone a chance to introduce themselves for those that are new listeners. Kevin, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great over here. Excited to talk about my project that I was assigned. We'll see how it all goes tonight. I know Lou has the curveball of the group, so we're excited to see what he has to bring to the table, too.
I mean, curveball. I'm building a Disneyland model out of toothpicks right now. This is challenging. But, I mean,
that's how they start, so it's fine.
That's exactly. And why not throw it over to Amanda, who gave me this wonderful challenge. How are you doing today?
I am doing fantastic. I have been looking forward to this show all day, all the last 2 weeks, really, because longtime listeners of Walt's Apartment podcast knows that Louis has some awesome games throughout all of the shows that we have, and some of his games are a little bit more challenging than others, and so I had the golden opportunity of I'm gonna say some payback, some karma maybe, and dish it out. So I am so excited to see what Louis has brought to the table for our armchair Imagineering.
I mean, to be fair, he's already tried to cheat.
Yes, he has.
He's already tried to
pull it back.
Already tried to break the rules.
Absolutely. And who's with that witchcraft voice? I mean, it rounds out the team.
Wow.
Sam, how are you?
I am fantastic. Why does it have to be a witchcraft voice? That's awful.
I mean, I mean, let's all jokes aside of the witchcraft stuff. I mean, between the accent and sometimes the evil laughs, I mean, all you need is some sparkly red shoes and like you're the full Walt of Oz.
It's because I'm magical. That's fine. We're just going to say it's because I'm magical and in a good way.
So I'm cheating. You're lying. Amanda, Kevin, you guys want to pick a word for tonight? I'm just kidding.
No, I don't.
I don't want to play this game.
the audacity that Louis has. The Leos are at it tonight. Louis and I have the same birthday, so
unfortunately, not by choice.
So I'm excited for our armchair Imagineering. So in our last episode, we went over the second tier of the pyramid. Louis, are you sure on how pyramids work?
Yeah,
they build up.
They got 4 points, right? I'm playing.
Sir, that is a cube. Well, no, that would actually be a square because a square is flat. Never mind. We're not going into geometry.
Well, technically, a pyramid has 5 points, right? 4 at the base, 1 at the top.
It would be 5 vertices. Yes.
Okay, I'm just checking. No regrets.
You're doing good.
You're learning. We are so proud of you. So the last tier that we talked about on our last episode was weenies, transitions, storyboards, pre-shows, and post-shows. And we decided that we were going to pull in the pre- and post-show aspect of that into our armchair Imagineering. So we assigned each other attractions at either Disneyland or Walt Disney World to reimagine a little bit with pre- and post-shows, or to build on the pre- and post-shows that already exist. Because mine has a little bit of a pre-show already. So mine is going to be Living with the Land. Amanda gave me that. Wait, was it Amanda who gave me that? No, it wasn't Amanda. It was Kevin who gave me Living with the Land.
I gave you that one.
It was Kevin. Kevin gave me Living with the Land. Amanda, what did you give Louis again?
I gave Louis Golden Zephyr from Disney California Adventure, and I will give credit where credit is due. This was Kevin's idea because I said I
would never admit that.
need to come up with something really great. What doesn't have a pre and post show already that is really, really challenging? And he's like, Golden Zephyr. And I said, boom, Golden Zephyr. That's what it is.
I said give him the Autopia, and you were like, no way, Golden Zephyr. So,
Wow.
That's not how that went down.
Okay. I gave Amanda hers. Amanda, what are you doing?
I am doing Buzz Lightyear from Disneyland, and I'm very excited about this one.
I was hoping you would be. And Kevin, you got yours from Louis. What are you doing?
Yeah, Lou gave me Goofy Sky School over at Disney California Adventure, right across
That's
the
a
way
fun
from
one.
his. I think he was hoping for me to give him some inspiration to add to his. So.
Probably. You guys probably like held hands and did this tandem planning.
Well, can we just talk about the fact that like Sam threw Amanda a softball? I mean, like, come on. Like, that was a solid.
I picked something that has a week pre-show.
But has the capacity or the opportunity of a solid pre-show.
Okay, so I gave Amanda something incredible that I knew she would be able to make magic with because, hey, so what? I gave her the layup and she's going to take it and make the basket.
That's for sure. Like, I'm excited to hear that one. Well, you know what? I'm so excited. We can give you not only your own time, but you could take my time as well and really just sales pitch that entire idea.
So for those who are new to Imagine That, remember that the Armchair Imagineering portion is a collaborative blue sky. So we are just throwing ideas at the wall, and there are no bad ideas. So each one of us, we're going to present our idea for... Lou is giving me side eye right now. There's no bad ideas, Lou. So we're going to have our pitch, and then we'll all collaborate on, maybe some ways to improve that idea or pivot slightly or whatever. But it's just to get the creative juices flowing. So
yeah, there's no such thing as a bad idea when it comes to our blue sky sessions here for our Armchair Imagineering. Everybody's opinions are welcomed, and nobody's going to be told, hey, that's a stupid idea, even though if it is a stupid idea.
But can we all just agree real quick outside of this? The Golden Zephyr was just a bad idea. That was a dumb idea for the park. Am I the only one that thinks that?
But it's not going anywhere.
And I know it's not going nowhere, but I mean.
So it's your job to make it better. And
right.
we will assist you. We will assist you in making it better because that's what we're here for. Yeah. However, I have no idea what the Golden Zephyr is because I've never been. So, hey.
No, I mean.
Sounds lame to me, though.
No.
Just saying. Okay, but before we get to that, we want to talk about an Imagineer that does a really great job with pre and post shows. And we get that in the likes of Tony Baxter. So we are going to talk a little bit about Tony Baxter. We're going to give some of his background, some of the things that we see in pre and post shows with Tony Baxter. And then we will jump into our Armchair Imagineering session. So Tony Baxter is one of our favorite legends. He was the vice president of creative development for WDI. He was responsible for attractions all over the world, and honestly, parks all around the world because he was vice president creative development, creative director. He announced his full-time departure from the company and is signed on as an advisor to this day still on his 66th birthday, which was February 1st, 2013. He worked for the company for 47 years and oversaw the construction of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Star Tours, Splash Mountain, Indiana Jones Adventure, Journey into Imagination, and he was the executive producer of Disneyland Paris. So that entire park had Tony Baxter all over it. A lot of people already know this story, but Tony Baxter first started in Disneyland Park in 1965 as an ice cream scooper on Main Street. He was 17 years old. He held many positions for WED and the park. He first started as building himself up in WED. He was given the position of Senior Vice President of Creative Development in Walt Disney Imagineering. We've talked about his work on Big Thunder Mountain and in Walt Disney World, Disneyland Paris, Fantasyland, Tomorrowland. Honestly, there's not much that Tony Baxter hasn't had some type of influence on at this point. And I love that we are talking about him as far as pre and post shows go, because I've told you guys numerous times how much I would love to see Journey into Imagination, like his iteration come back, his pre and post show with the Rainbow Corridor. If you look at Big Thunder Mountain and you look at the sea representation and the storytelling that goes into the queue, and you see the images of Barnabas T. Bullion, and you know there's an extra story that goes with it. I don't know. What do you guys have to say about Tony Baxter? I just get so excited. Like, he's an excellent example of pre and post show.
Well, I have a pre-show fun fact.
Oh, and Star Tours too. Like
of course.
Sorry, I just got super excited because I forgot about Star Tours. All of the puns in the queue for Star Tours.
Absolutely. So while Tony Baxter was scooping ice cream on Main Street, he was a college student at California State University, Long Beach, which is where I also went to school. So little tie-in with Tony B.
I didn't know that about you, Amanda.
He started when he was, I think, in Pomona. He was at Cal Poly Pomona. He became a ride operator after that. So he was probably a ride operator when he was at Cal State Long Beach. So it's a little better than an ice cream scooper at that point.
According to the Cal State EDU website, he was a college student at CSULB while scooping ice cream.
I wonder if that's true. Because, I mean, how long was he scooping ice cream before he was operating the Autopia and the submarines and Adventure?
I don't think it was very long. I think it was like 6 months. I don't even think it was very long, because he also did popcorn too. He worked at a popcorn cart for a bit too. But
he loves the parks. That's what we like. That's why we love that guy as an Imagineer. We love Imagineers who have actually been to the parks, been on the ground.
I mean, I don't know if I heard it on Sam's list or not, but he also was a key person, the person for Splash Mountain.
It did say Splash Mountain.
Oh, okay.
He was very key for Splash Mountain.
He was very key to the point to where, like, he had tears when it was closing, and he was one of the last people to ride it and collect some of the water, which he's the only person who should have been allowed to collect water, other than the bunch of weirdos who were selling it on the internet, because, they're sane. But it's fine.
He was also one of the first human trials for pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was an Imagineering DVD that came out back when physical media was a big thing, and he talks on there about the making of pirates, and he was watching the flumes go by, and according to what he was sharing, I believe it was either Marty, possibly, I don't think Walt, but possibly Marty, that said, well, you can't get a good view from there, you got to be in the boat.
Are you sure it wasn't Claude Coates?
No, I want to say it was either Marty or I don't want to say Walt, but I could be wrong.
Walt never actually got to see pirates in its finality. He was too unwell to go down. He actually sent Claude Coates to go ride it for him and to come back and give him feedback on what it was like. And I got that directly from Claude's son, Alan.
But I remember on the DVD him sharing that. I just know that he was like the first human test trial for that ride. I thought that was pretty rad. Yeah. Like, what an experience to go down that and witness that. So, yeah, incredible. He has a crazy reign. He still is like an advisor to the parks because he's still alive and well. And he has said that he will come back and do Journey into Imagination if they will let him. So let him
do it
because I'm tired of this shit. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
We're not through his awards yet, or no?
No, I was just about to get there. So he actually has a Themed Entertainment Association's award for Lifetime Achievement. He was also the recipient of the DFC Disney Legend Award in 2004. In August 2013, he had his actual Disney Legend induction ceremony. And then in November of 2013, just a couple months later, he received the honor of having his name added to a window on Main Street, USA in Disneyland. His window is actually above the Main Street Magic Shop, which reads Main Street Marvels, Tony Baxter, inventor, imagination at the heart of our creation. Anybody else have anything else they want to add about good old Tony B, other than the fact that we love him and we think he's incredible and they should let him do anything that he wants to do because he's Tony B?
I thought there's a lot to talk about, but at the same time, I would encourage the listeners to go and watch the Imagineering story to really take in what Tony Baxter has done and has wanted to do. I mean, he has the, I don't know where I saw it at, but there's the Mary Poppins ride. There's a blueprint that I forgot.
The Cherry Tree Lane one.
It's the ride that they talked about, the merry-go-round, where you hop on horses, and that's the loading dock. You hop on, and it kind of goes off the page. I forgot where I saw that blueprint from.
Yeah, I think it's his senior thesis or something for Cal State Long Beach.
Okay, yeah, and he was talking about that, and I was like, that'd be a great idea, where you a merry-go-round as the loading and unloading, and you go off the page, kind of like how they did in the movie. Like, that'd be rad. And now they have the technology for it, so it'd be super cool. But yeah, Imagineering story, and then the Imagineering Guide DVD has a lot of just interview and commentary from Tony Baxter himself.
So I am super passionate about him for another reason, because he is a huge reason why the Society of Explorers and Adventurers exists in the Disney Parks archives and the stories and in the backstories of the attractions. So we've announced it on our live show now, but Joey and I are launching a show before the beginning of May that is going to be based off of Society of Explorers and Adventurers history, but it's also going to have an audio drama portion where we are going to be telling stories that come from the Society of Explorers and Adventurers characters, but through the lenses that Joey and I are creating. So our own storytelling. So we're embracing our inner Tony Baxter over here at Walt's apartment too. We're going to bring in the rest of the crew for voice actors, and we're going to be making our own Tony B magic over here. So I'm a little excited, because if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have this incredible backstory that already exists, these characters. And I'm so excited to be able to pick apart attractions and just different Disney lore and point out where the Society of Explorers and Adventurers things are and where the Tony Baxter input is. So I'm excited. All right. Are we good on Tony B? Because I think we might need a sponsor break before we move on to our next segment. Hey, do you guys want to hear from our sponsor, Where in the Park?
Yeah, I've heard great things.
Where in the Park Seek and Find Image Scavenger Hunt games will have you exploring theme parks like never before. But this is not like your childhood scavenger hunts. There are no word-based lists of items to find or a binder of riddles, trivia, math, or counting. Our games contain cards with images of details that can be found throughout the park just by walking around. You can play on your own schedule, so you don't have to worry about long lines, height requirements, or health concerns. Need help finding an image? We've got you covered, with hints and answers on each card so you're never left wondering where in the park the image can be found. Use the Scan Before Playing card to reveal an alternate image if one of the cards in your pack is currently hidden or removed from the park. Order today to get game packs for your next visits to the Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney World theme parks. But the fun doesn't stop there. We also have games for Universal Studios in Hollywood and Florida, Knott's Berry Farm, Six Flags, SeaWorld, and more. Ready to experience your favorite theme parks in a whole new way? Go to www.whereinthepark.com/Walt'sAPT podcasts to get 10% off your order. A portion of the sale will also go to support the Walt's Apartment podcast. Want $10 off your order instead? Visit patreon.com/WaltAPT podcast to become a lamplighter. With so much more to discover, the only question is, do you know where in the park?
We sure do, because they're sitting here with us right now. We love Kevin and Amanda. We appreciate you guys for everything that you do for the shows and for our Patreons and for the Disney community in general. So, yay. Yay, team.
Hey, thank you.
Before we actually head into our Imagineering armchair session, I did want to talk about one more thing. Disney has released something on YouTube that is going to feed our Imagineering souls and kind of fuel our show a little bit. So, Amanda, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Me? Shoot.
I mean, we can make Louis do it if we want.
Yeah, we haven't heard from Lou hardly at all this episode.
What do you mean? I was talking a lot at the beginning, but I'm down. So,
All right, Louis, tell us what Disney's released.
I don't know if it has an official title. I could be blanking it, but Disney has released like a YouTube version of the Imagineering story, but with the modern stuff. And
it's actual Disney.
Yeah, it's actual Disney. And the first episode is giving you a lot of like sneak peeks of what's to come, but it's very heavy influenced by Tiana's Bayou Adventure. And it is showing some, if you haven't had a chance to check it out. It is showing some solid animatronics. And I put this in our group chat. We have a production chat that we talk about. And the animatronics they're showing are very authentically Disney, but very distinctly like new and like cutting edge technology. We don't have the back lit faces. But yeah, Disney is releasing Imagineering episodes on YouTube. I think they're roughly about 15, 20 minutes long. I don't know how consistently they're coming out or anything like that. But yeah, they are on the YouTube channel. I believe you go to Disney Parks and you'll see it. You can type in Disney Imagineering. And man, I thought that episode, the way they used Walt's voice in the traditional way we hear it, but in a very blueprint way, like it wasn't, the audio wasn't solid, but it was like purposely like scratchy and like, hey, we're working with it. Everyone's lover boy, Josh D'Amaro, was in there, really soothing and smoothing everybody. We saw our first glimpse of Bruce Vaughn in his like, and I believe the title they had on the show was the new title, not even like, hey, I'm here just supporting. I think he was the chief creative officer, so he was already labeled that. Overall, a really good episode. I enjoyed it. I hope there's more. And I hope it's more than just 6 episodes like Imagineering story. So, but what are your guys' thoughts on it? I just kind of took the reins and gave a whole rundown of the show.
That's much better than what I had.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited because we all geek out over that content link. Lou and I, we did watch parties for our patrons over Imagineering story, and we loved consuming that content with them. So Lou, this is something we could actually do with patrons, is we could set a day where we're watching these episodes, and Kevin and Amanda, if there's time, and you guys, I know you guys are super busy, but like if you want to join, I think our patrons would love that. And that's something exclusive we can offer through Imagine That. Because this content is incredible. These behind the scenes sneak peeks, when Disney is willing to give this to us, we need to be willing to talk about it, because the less we talk about it, the less they're going to give us. If we can like get some hype around it and get people excited about it, hopefully they'll listen and give us some more, because they didn't do that with the Imagineering story. And I'm hoping that right now Disney is in a wave of where they're starting to listen to what people are wanting to consume more and offer us different media. Fingers crossed, probably not. It's wishful thinking, but I want to keep talking about these things because hopefully they'll give us more.
Well, you mentioned something that's kind of cool too that they mentioned in the channel is about being a career path. I mean, I've talked about it before, is not many youth today know what Imagineering is, and it's very few. But also not knowing how many different roles are in Imagineering. It's not just, oh, I can sculpt, paint, and storytell. Like I can I know electronics. I know this. I know physics. I mean, you go back to Bob Gurr, and it's like, hey, I know, trigonometry? Like, so it really.
I mean, to be fair, Louis, I think that Disney found out that we were doing this show and that we were going to cover those topics, and they were like, oh shit, they're about to take over, so we need to like get this show out there. That's really what happened.
I think so. And we live in an era where people want the behind the scenes, and cool. Give us the behind the scenes where, hey, this stuff's already in the ride, so now we're showcasing it to you. I get not wanting to reveal all your secrets and stuff like that too soon, but I mean, let's be honest. Walt Disney World, they are already testing the ride, so therefore, there's a good chance that these animatronics have already made their way into that ride. So therefore, showing us is like, hey, we're just giving them a little bit more and using this as a promotional piece as well for the attraction. So I liked it. I'd be lying if I didn't say I liked it more than the second half of the Imagineering story, because it was really just hands-on about it. Like, this is what we're doing, why we're doing it. The last half of Imagineering just as great, but this one I think really hit home.
Yeah, I think that it was a pretty fun show. I love the animatronics of Louis and Mama Odie. Probably the best. Everything they showed. Again, if you haven't seen it, go take a look at it. But I think maybe the show is just kind of a recruiting call for Disney Imagineering, where they lost a lot of Imagineers.
Hey, I'm in.
Also, they're saying, hey, this is the place where magic is happening still. Look at what we're doing. It also gets the word out to answer the question that Bob Iger had at the meeting as far as, what is your response to Epic Universe? They're showing Imagineering is working hard. We're making amazing things. So they're just trying to get it probably ahead of that as well. So, also, I think Bruce Vaughn is now the president, not the chief creative officer anymore.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's what changed.
But I think too, like, I think that the timing on their part has been amazing, because there was this little sneak peeks on Instagram, and it went just absolutely viral. Our page was just covered in the clips of Tiana and what they're doing for the ride. And so then this Imagineering episode comes out on YouTube, which is available to everyone. And now we get more of her. We get all these other characters. And even my mom, who does not like the ride of Splash Mountain because she doesn't like the drop and everything, she even said, I will stand in the line and ride this attraction because I have got to see what they're doing with these animatronics. And it was because of this. It's 100% a promotional thing, but it's what we've been saying from the get-go. Like, we eat this up, and we will watch it over and over and over again, because we are just so excited for any glimpse behind the curtain. So this is amazing. I agree. I hope that it's more than 6 episodes. I mean, we were good with the hour long with the Imagineering story, but these 15, 16-minute increments make it a little bit more manageable, get us more excited for the next one. So there's a lot to take in, but it's awesome.
Have they said how often they're going to be dropping these?
I was looking.
I have not seen.
I haven't seen anything.
We've seen the first one. I keep checking, like, when's the next one going to be there? But it hasn't showed up yet. So.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to figure out a consistency to their schedule yet. I think it's just an as-is type of thing. And honestly, I'm wondering if they're going to use it as a way to drive like behind the scenes content when there are just new attractions coming out. I don't know if they're going to give it to us as consistently as we want. So there's been a lot of slack, obviously, for the things that were promised to us for Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and what we're seeing. Louis will be the first person to say that. Like, so the renderings don't always end up being exactly what we get. And we know that things change during Blue Sky sessions. They change in production and post-production. And I'm wondering if they're trying to kind of give us that oomph to get us excited about what exists, and like showing us this is what the animatronics look like. So I'm curious if it's going to have some sort of consistency to it, or if it is going to be something that we just get when there's new attractions coming out.
It's kind of like the Blue Sky Cellar they have at California Adventure, or had there, I guess.
Yeah, and
Where
I'm
it
kind
would
of
change when they were excited, then they would just kind of fall apart, and now it's turning into a DVC lounge or something. So
well.
So it sounds like it's kind of what this is going into. But for now, though, we're excited to be able to have a sneak peek behind the scenes.
Splash Mountain being my favorite ride,
You'll be all right.
I am excited for this. I really am. Like, I get it, the ride attractions are the same, but knowing that they stayed authentically Disney, I think it's really going to be nice, and I'm stoked for it.
Is Louis saying nice things about Tiana's Bayou Adventure?
I mean, I've always said nice things about it. I just wasn't having.
No, you have not. You're a liar. Don't.
No, I have. I think it's fine. I'm not against the theme. You know that.
Right, Pixie Duster.
I just don't think they should have ever got rid of Splash. Like, that's what I'm saying. But like, right. I think the Mama Odie figure, dude, that thing was like Tiana's figure, and I'm not gonna hate on it. There's just something about her face that does not look like Tiana. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't look like her. Looks like someone different. But the Louis and Mama Odie figures, oh my gosh, that is on point. Like, I hope there's multiple Mama Odie figures. But, I mean, based on what we're hearing of the ride, I think there's only one. And, I mean, she's the best character in that entire movie. Let's be honest. Like that, she steals the show. So I hope we get a little bit of time to really appreciate that animatronic. And it's not like, oh, there she went. So we will have to wait and see. And we'll get video soon because I'm assuming that Walt Disney World's due date is very close.
For sure. Okay. So we're ready to jump into our armchair imagineering session. So we're going to probably do 2, then we will do a sponsor break, and then we will finish out with the last 2. Who wants to go first?
Well, hold on. Can we set the parameters of what we can and can't do so the listeners know what to get ready for?
The expectation was, Louis, that we were given, that's what we say in education when we want to tell a kid this is what you're supposed to do and here's what you chose to do. So the expectation was that you were to be given your attraction and you are not allowed to touch the actual attraction. You are just allowed to reimagine or create, if they do not already exist, a pre and post show. The rest of the attraction has to remain exactly the same without being touched. So, Louis, you have the Golden Zephyr.
Oh, I'm up first.
You are.
All right.
So I voted for you to go first.
All right. So this attraction, first off, I don't think should be there, but that's beyond the point. So I was doing a lot of homework trying to figure out.
We didn't ask that, Louis. We asked you to make it magical with your pre and post show. So let's go.
But I already shared it. Can you leave me on my soapbox alone and let me just pitch it? Okay.
No, absolutely not. But go ahead.
You could have your witchcraft imagineering here shortly. I'm doing me. Okay. So I get it. I couldn't demo or do anything to the Golden Zephyr. So therefore, I'm going to demo another building. Okay.
No. Whoa. You're going to demo a building?
Yeah. No one said we couldn't do other buildings. You said the attraction, the main attraction.
You're demoing what building?
So the Seaside Souvenirs shop is gone. It doesn't exist no more.
That's across the street.
Yeah, that's gone. So hear me out.
I'm listening. Where are you going with this?
Okay.
So what happens is you are going to have you go in there, and unfortunately, it's going to be a switchback line queue in the beginning, but you're going to have a bunch of like steampunk Golden Zephyr like memorabilia, and they're very similar to the Soarin', but more Golden Zephyr. And then what's going to happen is you're going to, at a line queue, work your way up to a second level. And a second level, there's going to be a video very much like a NASA-like countdown video where you're getting ready to walk out on the bridge into your attraction. But instead, there will now be a bridge going over the walkway. So when those doors open for the, 35 guests that can be on the ride, it'll open up with a little like fog mist, like you're about to walk on the bridge to your NASA ride. So you're crossing the bridge. So now, not only are you walking on the bridge to your ride, but everyone above is like, what are they doing? causing interest to this ride. So you walk over to the bridge, which then takes you to your traditional loading dock of where you are. On the bottom part, so that's my pre-show. You go on the Zephyr, it does what it does because you can't do much else with it. Me personally, I really think the Zephyr should go the opposite way, but I know we can't touch it. Just for I don't know why. Aesthetically thinking, I think it should go the opposite way if it does, but okay. Now the bottom queue is where you exit. And when you exit, that is enclosed to become your exit show. And when you are exiting, you kind of have the same flying with us, thank you, like almost like Soren does, and you exit that way. What I was gonna do, but we can't do this, so this is now not voided from my idea. Is I was thinking it'd be an underground tunnel, kind of like you would exit on after a launch. So you exit from an underground tunnel coming up onto the patio area of World of Color, where that sits, but kind of going underwater. So then you have more chances to put kind of that steampunk Zephyr type of memorabilia and put it on there. And then you would use, so I was trying to create a character for it, and using that Mickey Rocketeer design that goes around, using him as your guide on this journey to give it some more IP and stuff like that. But yeah, you would take Seaside Souvenirs, make that an in-show building, work up to a second level where it's a loading dock. You get like this, almost like Houston kind of test show. Doors open up. It's a small spray of like fog or mist. You walk across the bridge, load on to the Zephyr, but then you exit the bottom part, and the bottom part is enclosed with steampunk memorabilia kind of things. All like really dressed around Mickey in the game. And then Mickey, as the Rocketeer Mickey, would be kind of like the host for this fantasy style ride.
I don't hate the Rocketeer. I don't hate the Rocketeer Mickey part like at all.
So
yeah, we could redo Jumping Jellyfish too. So Jumping Jellyfish could be a Rocketeer themed ride. We make that steampunk.
Yeah, and then
I'm all for steampunk Disney.
I didn't think about this at all. This is just a little added little. The bridge part would be cool if it actually came up like you were taking off, but only during the parade scenes. So like, hey, you have a parade coming through where it lifts up, showing that same style, like, hey, it's getting ready to launch, so we hold back. But
I like that idea.
You only get to see it during parades and stuff like that because
my idea sounds really, really lame now.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I applaud you. I gave you a really tough one, and when you said that you were demolishing a building, I was like, now wait a minute. But no, I see where you're coming from, and
I mean, Seaside Souvenirs is a very, I mean that corn dog stand's cool, but it's not as cool as the red car trolley one. So that little area could be completely demoed into a line building. I mean, there's not much else in that little zone besides a bunch of tables.
Yeah.
For the listeners, that's the little red wagon.
Yes.
For the corn dog.
What I call it?
Red car trolley.
Yeah, that's completely the wrong one. Yeah, thank you, Kevin.
No problem.
All right, well, I think that's fantastic. And honestly, like, I am all for more steampunk Disney. I think that there's definitely an element that would flow 110% there.
Well, if you did a steampunk land, that'd be so rad because then it's no IP. And you know
how many people like bring steampunk elements into their Disney bounds? Or like do steampunk Dapper Day. Like there's a huge steampunk vibe to a lot of Disney fans. I think that the audience exists. And I think that a lot more people are coming back into like steampunk culture as far as like
Six Flags has been trying to get into that game with their Screenpunk districts.
However, they can't do things quite like Disney can. Or the way that they want to, but they can simmer down. They can try. Yeah, exactly. We're gonna squirt them. Simmer down. It's an inside joke. Arizona Big Man. That one was for you, but because he does listen to our shows. But I'll go next. Mine's not as elaborate as Lewis's, but I have Living with the Land, and this, you guys are going to think this is super dorky, but I think that we need a mascot for Living with the Land. And I think that as a pre-show goes, I'm thinking of like we're going through the boat at the beginning. Lewis is like, I'm out. She lost me at mascot. Okay, I'm thinking about the boat at the beginning, and my thought was, okay, maybe we have some kind of like fish mascot that has like a cute, quirky song, because that would work. A song that explains how the land products are used. Is just something fun about planting and growing and harvesting. A cutesy song. And I thought about the fish from Chicken Little with the helmet. And I said he would be so cute if he was just like popping up at different parts of like the pre-show, kind of talking you through what you're about to experience and about how things are used. But in like a song way. So Fish Out of Water, that's his name, right? So I want to use Fish Out of Water. I want to use Fish Out of Water in his cute little helmet, like popping up at different parts of the pre-show as a mascot, singing a song to introduce you in that beginning boat scene to what to expect. And then, like I said, my pre-show is super easy here. We've got a singing fish. It's great. Leave it to me.
Wait a minute. Just time out real quick. So you're already on the boat.
Well, does that, because I consider the boat the pre-show part.
There's a whole switch back before the boat, though. Are we doing anything there?
Oh, penalty.
Red flag.
No, because there's two. Well, I mean, that's not a penalty, Lewis. There's like the boat part, and then there's the rest.
I'm just asking for clarification. That's all.
Are you talking about the pre-show? So the pre-show is when you're going through like the animatronics at the beginning before you get to where the farm part is. Because like you have like the barking dog.
Before you get to the farm part, yeah. Before you get to the farm part, yep. Before you get to the farm part, you're gonna have the Lewis.
I'm just playing.
Lewis, have you ever been on Living with the Land?
No, I've never been to Florida.
Red flag, penalty.
Okay, so before you get to the farm part, we get a singing fish, and leave it to me to bring you a singing fish.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, of course she's going with a fish.
Of course I am. But I mean, what else makes sense there? You guys, let's talk about it. What else would you put there? Because I feel like we need a mascot. We need a singing mascot for that introduction. What other animals?
I already have the dog, so I would just.
But the dog is, yeah. But I mean,
get him to start talking. It's fine.
I don't want him.
Fish can talk. A dog can talk.
I mean, I guess he could, but he's not as cute as Fish Out of Water.
Like when I think of the land, I don't think of the fish.
Why?
Well, because like they're the sea and like water, not land.
But they're still food.
You get a surf and turf. You're not thinking
dogs aren't
that
food,
turf
though.
fish.
But dogs aren't food. And dogs don't.
It doesn't have to be something that you're gonna eat.
But dogs for me, it is. I'm gonna eat the mascot. I'm just kidding.
But this is an audio show, and so listeners can't see the penalty cards that Lewis is throwing down. But I'm actually going to second Lewis because the parameters of this was before you get on the ride. So you can't change the attraction itself.
But no,
so
but it's
you're
not.
on the boat.
Sit down. You're on the show.
I thought it already is a pre-show though.
But it's we're doing pre-shows before you get on the boat.
So we're doing pre-shows before the pre-shows that already exist?
Because when you're on the boat,
I would argue the beginning part of Living with Land is still part of the show.
Yeah. Well, I would argue it's the pre-show.
Well, the pre-show is the line before you get onto the boat. As soon as you walk onto that boat and sit down, the mural
but
to your left.
But you have different parts of the attraction. You have different parts of the
mural.
Okay. Well, see, we had a difference of perspective there because I was considering the boat part, the initial boat part, the pre-show. So there's that.
I know over like at Disney World for the Haunted Mansion, you have where part of the pre-show in California is part of the show where you were on the ride going down the hallway with the art changing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas over here, you have to walk past that pre-show. Whereas in Florida,
so we're saying once you're on the ride vehicle, that's when the actual. Okay, see, we need to set better parameters then, because my brain did not go that way. Because I'm like, it separates itself into different segments. Once you're on the ride vehicle, there are different segments. So
I know there are shows like rides that have had post shows that are still part of the ride, like that Ellen's Energy Adventure and Maelstrom. Those ones had very long post shows while you're still sitting in the ride vehicles. At least they felt long. But for the most part, I want to say pre and post show is you are not on the ride vehicle.
But
again, with all of Imagineering, there are no actual rules. That's kind of the beauty of the art.
And that's the thing is, like, I don't take offense to anything that anyone is saying here. Like, I still want a singing fish.
So I was going to say, to your point, the line itself does offer a lot of space to have said singing fish, and can tell that story of anything, really, of how everything is all connected, how, the seas are important, like the land
just to kind of introduce you. But I want it to be in a song. I feel like
we can be in a song.
I feel like we need a song. We need a mascot and we need a song. That is what I most want out of a pre-show.
You want to write that song?
I mean, I wish I could have the friggin' Sherman Brothers do it, but obviously I can't.
Richard's still around, right? So,
I mean, maybe he can write it with Greg. It'll be fine.
I mean, Richard Sherman's still around, but that poor man, like, I'm not ready for that.
Calm down, Louis. That's not what we're talking about.
Career with the singing fish.
Like,
talking about the land. No.
He did that Disney 100 thing, and he could write a song, but he can't sing it. I mean, that poor guy. Bring the guy that did Encanto.
He rarely sung the songs that were on the rides.
What's his name? Lin-Manuel
Miranda.
Yeah, I can see a fish singing a Lin-Manuel Miranda song. I can't even say his name, but yeah.
But do you guys know the fish I'm talking about? The fish
Yes.
out of water with the helmet?
Yeah,
I think he would be super cute.
Yeah.
I think he would be cute. And Disney already has the rights to him. So, and then post-show, I actually think it would be fun to have somebody doing I think we need like a gallery of a lot of the different restaurants in Epcot. And some of the courses that they prepare using things from the garden or the farm. Just like a picture menu sort of to speak. But I also think it would be cool to have like an interactive thing where kids could plan their meals in regards to the like food pyramid, like an interactive thing. But how cool would it be to have somebody there actually preparing something in front of people, hibachi style, where you could actually try it as you're walking through? Like you could take samples of something as you're walking through. I mean, it's free food, but they're growing it. So why not like give a little love? So they could be doing a presentation, speaking as you're walking through. People could stop. It's like a 10-minute quick, like they're sitting there prepping something. You can stop if you want to, or you can like keep walking through type of situation. I think that would be fun. It would be something I would want to see, like if they could have a Disney chef standing there.
Yeah, during Food Wine Festival, they'll do the food presentations. So it'd be like a year-round one of those. I'm okay with that.
But like as a post show, or like even like a quick like kids cooking session type of thing, like something. I always go for the kids, like a quick how-to.
Yeah,
and then you get a sample.
Or I like what you're thinking. I was just thinking other interactive things.
I'm fine with that.
Because I remember at the exit at one point they had a spot where you can buy like little seedlings or starter things, but it would be cool to have like a demonstration of like, hey, this is how you can do this at home. Like, have something where it's interactive like that. They have some space. They can expand on it a little bit. but I don't even think that gift shop is there anymore where you can buy the seeds.
Little kiosk vendors.
So, but I mean, you can even change that out, mix that up like with the chefs doing things. I mean, that line for Living with the Land is not very long. All the times that we've been, it's been like 10 minutes, if that. It's normally a walk on. So anytime you're going to give out free samples, people are going to ride the ride just for the free samples. So you're educating people.
That's my thought on the like food preparation samples as well, because that's going to pull people from other attractions in the park and just have them say, okay, it's going to be we're going to do something chill. We're going to get a quick like Disney food sample over here. And then it's going to lessen up traffic in other parts of the park for brief times.
It's another idea. I don't know if you ever saw, I never did, but there used to be a show called The Kitchen Cabaret.
The Kitchen Cabaret. Oh my gosh. Yes. I've seen all the videos of it. And I have a friend for Future who he does a Future Port, basically a AR, VR type of thing that he recreated it, and you can walk through it, and Kitchen Cabaret is part of it. So that would be super fun to bring back.
I mean, not to just kill your fish off. I would replace them with the Kitchen Cabaret guys. Still keep a song, but I think it'd be really fun to have them.
No, I totally forgot about Kitchen Cabaret until you said that. And a pre-show with the Kitchen Cabaret characters is perfect in that space. And I mean, not that we can alter the ride, but why not pop them up in different parts of the ride as well?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Disney, you have that. You already have
that for another episode.
You already have this, Disney. Why do we not have this?
Kevin,
thank you for bringing up Kitchen Cabaret, because I completely forgot about Kitchen Cabaret. And their songs are hysterical, and they're educational, and they're fun. And they make food rock. So
exactly.
All right. So before we get to Kevin and Amanda's, like, obviously they're going to be amazing because they're Kevin and Amanda. But before we get to their pre-show and post-show Armchair Imagineering, we are going to hear from our last sponsor of the night, because Sunken City Design over here has yet to give us a sponsor spotlight. Go look at Sunken City Designs on Facebook and Instagram, and sunkencitydesigns.com, and get you some exclusive Sunken City Designs merch and art from none other than Louis over here. But we are going to hear.
And there's the sponsor video right there. Cut it, edit it. We're good.
I will make you one. But we want to get to know Getaway Today first.
Well, hello, and welcome to Let's Get to Know Our Sponsor. Getaway Today has been helping Disney vacation dreams come true since 1990. Whether you choose to visit the happiest place on earth or travel to Orlando and beyond, they want to help you. Need to know the best hotel in the area? What theme park ticket should you buy? Have a last-minute change? No worries. Their travel experts are always here to help. Want to book a cruise and don't know where to start? Hey, they can help with that too. They will help you find the perfect cruise for your vacation, whether it is your first time or you're a well-seasoned cruiser. When you book your cruise with one of the Getaway Today's experts, you will have a dedicated agent to help you every step of the way. They take care of the details so you can have the most fun. Getaway Today has layaway, peace of mind travel, allowing you to cancel or make changes up to 72 hours in advance. You will always have the most up-to-date vacation information, both pre-arrival and upon your welcome. Getaway Today will guarantee the best prices with no hidden fees. And every time you book through Getaway Today, they will donate a portion back to a charitable organization in your area. And so far, over $4.5 million has been donated. So click the link in our show notes to start your Disney vacation planning for more information and the best deals. Tell them Walt's Apartment sent you. And until next time, enjoy the view from Walt's Apartment.
Oh,
And we're back.
we are. Sam's not though.
Sam's still doing her Getaway Today break.
Yep. Sam is upset that her fish out of water is going to stay in water. So while Sam is still getting away, Amanda, you want to take
calm
lead
down.
and share your armchair Imagineering project for
Buzz Lightyear.
No.
Yeah. So Buzz Lightyear over at Disneyland. It already has a pretty large pre-show. However, the pre-show as it currently exists tells us what we need to know, but usually the entrance to this pre-show area is so loud you can't hear what's going on. So it isn't until you are in that second room with Buzz Lightyear and the Etch-a-Sketch that the Etch-a-Sketch shows you what's happening and why we need to care and what's going on. So other than that, there's like murals and stuff that kind of just show some static images of galaxies so we better understand the universe and what Sector 9 is and what's happening. But a lot of times, like, we need to be shown something, not just told something. And we've talked about that on the podcast a lot too, of, don't just tell. Show us what's going on. So my reimagineering of the pre-show is that first room that you walk into. So the line queue stays the same as far as layout goes. But the first room, instead of the audio of what's going on, we're going to have some video screens or even a new animatronic that will tell you, hey, Star Command needs our help right now. And we need you to step up. Like, we need you as recruits. And then in that first room, we are transported from Tomorrowland to Star Command because we're not there yet. We're still in Tomorrowland and we just happen to walk in this building. And so in the second room, we have been transported to Star Command where Buzz Lightyear is like, hey, new recruits, I'm so glad you're here. We need your help. Instead of the murals of just the static galaxies, it's going to be screens showing movement that there's the galaxies, but Zurg and his robots are actually, like, we can see them battling in this war with the ships and stealing the battery cells. And we can actually see, hey, there's a war going on outside and Buzz is helping, like, getting us prepared to go into battle. Like, let's go. So we're seeing all of this happen. Buzz and the Etch-a-Sketch are great as far as telling us what's going on, battle stations, getting us all amped up so he can stay. And then in the hallway past him, there's currently some murals of the green aliens with the blasters that are aiming at a target to just show, hey, you're going to be firing at something. But I think these should be animated videos of the green aliens that are showing us what to do and showing us that, hey, there's different targets and how hitting those targets is actually going to cause Zurg's army to become immobilized. Or, like, this is, like, when you do this, they're going to drop their battery cells and we can reclaim that power or something. Because right now there's not really any way for, like, I get the story kind of, but right now I'm like, okay, I hit this target and why? What's happening? So I think having that animation of these are the different targets that you're going to hit. These are the shapes. They're worth more when they're lit. Cool. And this is what happens story-wise when you hit them. So I think all of that in the pre-show. Sam really wants to say something. I see Louis too. So I'm going to pause here.
No, I just love your attention to detail, but honestly, that's not even, I'm looking, okay, this is so gushy, but I'm looking at Kevin watching you talk and he is like completely enamored right now. And it just makes my heart happy. So I'm over here being like the sentimental sap, but you're amazing, Amanda. I don't know what Louis wants to say, but for me, I think you are spot on. Like, but I was just looking at Kevin, like, give you googly eyes over there.
What I do.
No, I want to say I'm on the same thing though. I've never really thought about it. Like, no one really explains what shooting does. And so I was like, I like the idea because the line queue now is just kind of boring instructions to kind of that. No, I'm really I thought you were given an easy attraction to run with, but not only did you take that, but you really hit it out of the park with this. Like just the pre-show thus far, I'm like, and then that attention to storytelling, like, hey, we haven't left Tomorrowland yet. So when does that transition happen? Like, I've never thought about that. I always just rode that ride because it was a ride and never really paid attention to that. When do we transition into, oh my gosh, I'm blanking the name, but I'm trying to remember Star Command. Thank you. I don't know why. I was like, Tomorrowland, what land was it? No. Like overall, I really like this, and it really should have a lot more interactive elements in there. I'm digging it. I really am.
Awesome.
I'm on board with it. Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a reason.
Yeah.
Hey, some guy just joined our podcast. What's that about?
Who the hell is this? Anyways, Amanda, keep going. Pre-show.
Okay. So now I'm all distracted. Boss man's here. So
I can make him leave if you want.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Bring him back. Okay, so for the post show, all right, there is very little happening currently in the post show for Buzz Lightyear at Disneyland. So right now, you get off the ride, right, and you see this large scoreboard, which is again just a static mural. The problem with that, it's great. But you saw your score on your ride vehicle for 5 seconds, if that. If you don't take a picture of it, you don't remember what your score was. It says level 4, level 3, level 2, whatever, but all right, well, what does that mean? How close? Level 1 in some cases, and that's okay. But again, if you don't take a picture of it, it goes away really fast. So what I'm envisioning, keep that scoreboard, but I want it so when you get out of the car, we know what your car's score is, and it shows it on that scoreboard.
So you can embarrass everyone.
So no, it's just for that. Like you're
Just
getting off.
for
You're
you.
getting off in order, so
Yes.
it knows. Okay, you had this score, and there were 2 people in the ride, so it'll show like how Toy Story Midway Mania will show your score.
Yes.
And it knows in order of what your ride vehicle was, so you can see, hey, I'm at this level, and man, I was really close to the next level, or man, I need to step it up. I need to watch some YouTube videos or something, or talk to Where in the Park people for some tips. And, there's an interactive element there that's missing that I really think that they can add quite easily. The technology exists to make that happen. And then after that, there is a really long hallway as you walk from the back of that building all the way back to the front, with the green Army Man store, little green Army Man store. And so what I was envisioning there is similar to how Space Mountain at Magic Kingdom was before they fixed it in quotes, but there was a moving walkway that would lead you all the way through that super long hallway. I was envisioning something similar to that, where instead of walking down that ramp, you are on a moving walkway, and it would show different bays of like Zurg being returned to Al's Toy Barn, because that is on the receipt and the last scene of the ride, it says return to Al's Toy Barn, but we don't actually get to see that happening. So something fun where Zurg is, being put into a return box and being shipped back to Al's Toy Barn, and maybe again Buzz and the aliens thanking, waving and thanking you for saving the galaxy or something like that. I like the idea of checking out your photos, but I would love them to be in better quality. That would be amazing. And actually being able to see your picture, because a lot of times it was like, oops, sorry, we didn't get you this time. Why is that? Like, everyone should have their picture. It should be clear, and we should be able to email it to ourselves and actually get it, or be on the Magic Band or whatever the app. But it should be in better quality. I think we're there technology wise that we can make that happen. And then I think the retail shop is fine. like the details in the shop, but I do think that there is still opportunity with the retail shop. Again, there's a lot of static murals, so having some sort of interactive element there would be great as well. So that's what I have for pre and post shows for Buzz Lightyear.
Hey, fun fact about the about the shop.
that?
About the shop. Did you know that there's a Space Mountain card in there, and the counter is the people mover?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, back to your.
I'm saying, like, you can leave the shop as is, but just add those elements on the walls.
It's a great shop with old ride vehicles.
Yeah.
Amanda, 10. It's a 10.
10.
Yeah.
10.
I
It's
love
a 10.
Yeah,
I have no critique.
The only thing I would add is, instead of ending it with them just being like, all happy, good job, you won, I think there should be a scene of Zurg escaping again.
Ooh.
So that way you have a reason to go back on the ride again.
That's a good
That's the
one.
only thing I would change.
Ooh,
That's a
I
good
like
one.
that.
Look at how cute they are. We love them.
Good.
Okay. We only have a few minutes left before we have to go record another show. So we're giving those to Kevin because he still has to reimagine his pre and post show. So you ready, Kevin?
Yeah, I have a stunning 3-hour presentation over here.
You have 2 minutes.
Oh, no. All right. So I got Goofy Sky School. Thank you, Lou, for that.
Absolutely.
So right now, the pre-show for Goofy Sky School, in case you didn't know, there was a pre-show already in that ride. With the short queue there, you have it where there's posters for the Sky School, or I think it says Flight School on the signs. But then there's permits and stuff explaining that what Goofy actually has is a chicken farm, but he's crossed it out and put Flight School on it. So it's kind of a hodgepodge flight school. He has a patent kind of thing designed for his flying contraption, because you're not going on actual planes. That's why you don't have wings on these things. It's just for the lesson of how to fly, and it explains that with like one little poster. And then before you get on the ride, behind the ride vehicles, there's actually a wall mural that shows the farm and how he's made it into a flight school. So that is the current pre-show. There are some plywood chickens, like plywood cutouts of chickens that are like just 2-dimensional on a few different spots, a few different locations in the line. So I would improve that by first off enclosing that section of the line to have it where it looks like you're going into the barn. I would replace all the 2-dimensional plywood art with screens that have animated, like hand-drawn animated chickens. Still keep it chickens. Like, I think that's fine. I think that's charming. They just have it where it's kind of like the little bird on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, where they do different
Can we do
things.
a singing fish instead?
No, it's a
Asking
terrible
for
idea.
a friend.
Terrible idea.
Hey, we're in a blue sky session. There is no such thing as a bad
sorry.
idea.
It's a beautiful idea. We'll consider it. All right. So you go into the barn. Inside of the barn, what I would like is kind of like on Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway again, a projection of Goofy, but not the Paul Reddish version, but the classic Goofy, where it'll look like he's there kind of giving you a breakdown of how he's going to help teach you how to fly planes. I want an actual narrator voice like in the old cartoons, like just giving you kind of like a breakdown as well of like what you'll actually be doing is this, whereas Goofy's kind of like steering you in the wrong direction. Then once you get onto the actual ride, like I don't want a lot of extra, so I just want to have it where all the animation is telling you the story that you're about to do. Tell us about the contraption and everything, but don't just show us on a sign. Actually say it out loud and have where it does like a cutscene kind of thing to Goofy's best hits of flying, poorly. Then you go on the ride, and right now the post show, there is no post show. You just exit the ride over a bridge and you're done. I would add an other room over there. There's room for it over at like a beer garden they use like 2-3 times a year, where I would have it where during the ride, I would hide some cameras. So whether you want to actually put them on the ride itself or like strategically have it around the park pointing toward the ride, it's up to you, depending on the parameters of this assignment. But have it where there's some cameras on there to show where you are during the different steps of the ride. If you haven't been on the ride, it starts out with like, the first lesson is like how to lift off and you're going up the chain hill. Then it's like how to turn, how to land, how to brake, how to land. Yeah. So it has all these different lessons of how to fly. So I would like to have it where it does a quick 30-second little recap with that same animated Goofy being like, let's see how you did, you know? And then all of a sudden it shows you actually going on the ride, because most people's like responses on that ride are insane, because that ride is insane.
Oh, so, that's cute. I like that idea. I like that recap. And then like it kind of gives you a chuckle at the end of it. You can see what everybody's experience was like on the attraction. I like that.
Yeah.
Good job, Kevin.
I'm stoked that you gave Goofy Sky School a opening and closing show, just because I think that ride is so awesome. Like, it's such a simple.
Apparently, it's chaotic and crazy.
It is chaotic and crazy. Well, it's a Wild Mouse coaster that should probably be leveled, but I do love the way they redid it for Mulholland Madness. In case anyone listening who doesn't know, the ride used to be called Mulholland Madness. It was an opening day attraction that had the theme of being cars driving on Mulholland Drive. It wasn't that inspired.
It worked.
Mulholland Drive. Oh, but Frisco?
No, I think it's in LA.
Yeah.
Oh.
Used to be on Route 66. The whole area was Route 66 was the theme. That's why you had the big dinosaur sunglass hut. That's why you have the Corn Dog Castle. That's why the bathroom over there is Route 66 theme, if you ever go inside of it.
I've only ever stepped into DCA 1.0 maybe like 2 times.
Well, you can visit it again by going to the bathroom over at the Paradise Garden area.
And of those 2 times, Buena Vista was already very deep in construction.
Save your next Eagle break. Save your next Getaway Today break for those bathrooms, Louis.
I will.
All right. Fantastic job, everyone, coming up with your ideas for our pre and post shows. The next time that we record in 2 weeks, we're going to be covering the 3rd tier of the Imagineering Pyramid, which is forced perspective, readability, and kinetics. So we will be covering those next time on Imagine That. And how do we close this show out?
Same way you always close it out, with complete confusion.
Confusion.
You were doing so good just now. The way you Imagine That, I was like, cool, you did it. And then you.
All right, well, we'll close it after. Imagine That. Sam ruined it. Okay. Imagine That. We'll see.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, everybody.